Hey, I'm Kurt Bob. So random. I don't know if you're like me, but I use shortcut automations. Like when my phone connects to CarPlay, it shuts off my lamps in my room. And so I thought, well, I'll just set it up to where whenever I connect to Wi-Fi, when I get home, that'll turn my lamps on. But there's this pesky reminder that you can't turn off. And I even looked it up on Apple. It says right here, here's are things you can have automatically, and here are things you have to. So I found a little workaround. The caveat is it has to be tied to one of the automations that is allowed in this list to be run automatically. In my case, disconnecting from Apple CarPlay. Now, if I have my lamps come on every time my phone disconnects from CarPlay, then my lamps will come on every time I go to the grocery store or work, etc., etc. So all I do is, whenever my phone disconnects from Apple CarPlay, it waits 90 seconds. At that time, it checks if its Wi-Fi network name enters is the same as my home Wi-Fi account, then turn my lamps on. And I experimented with this, made sure that it was able to trigger without confirmation, and it sure does. I drove around the block, came back. Whenever I got into my house, about 10, 15 seconds later, my lamps turned on. So it takes me a few minutes to walk up the driveway, get in the door, blah, blah, blah. It takes your phone a little while to connect to Wi-Fi. That's why I give it a good buffer of a wait at the beginning. Double check, make sure that your Wi-Fi network that you've typed in there is spelled correctly, and make sure there's not a space at the end or at the beginning. The space at the end that defaulted is what screwed me a few times. You can test these automations with that little play button on the bottom right. So I hope this helped somebody out there. Thank you very much for viewing.